Oh, this podcast is brought to you by Walmart and cool shirts.
And BioWorld making
You know what?
revolutionizing
That's where I got this fucking hat. I got this hat at Walmart for like $11. I'm shit you not.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Walmart Star Wars finds, bro.
I mean, Walmart's starting to step its game up. I mean, after Target did its thing, where everyone's like, "Fuck Target." Now Walmart's starting to get more variety.
Man, they've always had some good, cheap shirts though. Like
Oh yeah,
the printed.
Target
shirt.
doesn't like fat people.
Oh really?
bro.
Yeah,
They don't
other
have
than that,
I don't shop at Target.
nothing for big people. They go up to like 2X at the most. I'm like, I can't fit in that. Yeah. Target hates fat people. You heard it here first. Why not?
Target hates
Probably
big
not.
people, bro. Target hates big people. I mean, like, I can't find any pants at Target. I can't find a fucking t-shirt.
There's
and
some,
I'm like,
there's some 2XL shirts that like this is a 2XL shirt and my arms hardly fit in it. So
ooh, look at that's sexy. I like that. Well, anyway, so this episode, guys, fucking amazing.
I wish that I could play the Star Wars music right now, like just bum, 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 like the whole fucking thing, like just because so we could pay tribute to how dope of a fucking episode and a season that this has been. Because
bro, you know what kind of got me really excited is the intro where Ahsoka's in her spaceship inside of the Purgle, and it becomes story time. And you guys remember my theory about maybe one of the droids is, recounting all these events, maybe to a future generation. But that's, I was like, when that happened and I saw the title, Far,
you
I was
probably
like,
jumped out of your seat.
It's funny. I actually messaged Colt and I was like, "Isn't that Micah's theory?" About
I definitely remembered somebody saying that for sure. So,
bro, that got me so hyped. It really did.
And it's something that you're like, it's such a part of the universe, but not actually in the universe. You know what I'm saying? But,
it's always something we saw as the viewer, but never heard in the universe until now.
Awesome. You never heard it really, unless you just read it in the scroll at the beginning. So hearing somebody say it in the show or in the movie, first of all, it was completely fucking unexpected. I was like, "Hey," said the thing in the thing. Like I was Leonardo DiCaprio sitting on the chair with his glass of whiskey, like exactly like that. That was me.
Oh man, but dude, that got me charged up. Like as soon as I heard him say "in the galaxy far, far away," I was like, "There it goes, my theory."
So when he said that, I got excited for hearing that, but then I got worried because I was like, "Fuck, we're about to do more flashback shit." This episode's 49 minutes. How much time are we going to spend on flashback stuff until we get to Thrawn, until we get to Ezra, and all that stuff? But thankfully, it was just a little tease. I'm cool with getting flashback stuff, but we're down to 2 more episodes left. You know what I'm saying? Like we're getting nitty gritty. And from what I've heard online and read online, is that these next 2 episodes are absolutely fucking crazy. Like
I can't wait.
They blow everything that's happened so far in the season out of the fucking water. Like 7 and 8 are going to be the game-changing episodes of the Star Wars universe. So,
hey, bro, but this is what made it even more awesome was the fact that, pardon me, like when they first pull up on that planet and you see all the monoliths all around of the Night Sisters, and and the crazy thing about it is, as we've been watching the show, we've been talking more and more about the Night Sisters and magic, their abilities, and then lo and behold, that's a major plot thread right now. You know what I'm saying? There's three mother Talzins working together, making me think maybe these were the ones who, passed on their knowledge to Mother Talzin, which made her so strong. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, Morgan Elsbeth says that she heard the whispers, you know what I'm saying, of them talking to her from another galaxy. And the thing about that is, how fucking powerful do you have to be to go from 100 light years away all the way to a whole new fucking galaxy, way off, way far away? Because when you look at the star map, that galaxy is like in a void. It's just floating by itself. And I was
that's probably partly because it's unknown space. It's only looks like that because we don't know what's there. They can't project something there because it's unknown. You know what I'm saying? So there probably is stuff there, but we can't see it because that's all they know about. Because that's the Purgil's route.
The graveyard.
That
shit was crazy.
Let's start at the beginning. I got notes that I kind of went through the episode. So, at the beginning, Ahsoka said Sabine could have ended this. What do you think that she means? Because if Sabine just didn't just give Balon the map, he would have just fucking killed her. Like she didn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
So what could Sabine have done against Balon and Shin Batty?
It's like she only had one choice, like Ian said. But even if she destroyed the map, so like they couldn't get there, it's like, I guess like in her mind, like, okay, that was in the war, Thrawn can never come here without the map, but there's no guarantee of that. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee they couldn't find another way to get Thrawn back. So, like, to me, it was kind of weird that she was like, she could have ended this all. It's not like you're saying. It's just.
I mean, but on top of that, Danny, is she could have ended it. But what I think, her connection to Ezra and him being like her brother, essentially, like it shows that it's because we haven't seen any of Sabine's family or heard of anybody else by her surname. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is Ezra is like her brother now. That's the only family member she has left besides Hera, Chopper. Kanan's dead. You know what I'm saying? Zeb.
Yeah, I think they said Clan Rad got killed in the Purge.
Yeah,
of Mandalore.
Her family, all her mom and dad, all died in the Purge of Mandalore.
But so like what I'm thinking is, okay, so just like in where's the one where Kylo Ren gets the Sith holocron, right? Rise
of Skywalker.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker, right? He gets the Sith holocron, right?
They call it the Wayfinder. Yeah,
and that takes him and allows him to navigate space to find.
That's fucking stupid too, by the way. Fuck the sequels for that. It's not a fucking Wayfinder. It's a fucking.
I mean, it was supposed to be a different artifact. That's why it's green instead of being a Sith holocron. That was supposed to be a Sith Wayfinder. And I'm like,
so
why can't it have just? Yeah, it's a separate device. It's called a Sith Wayfinder, not a holocron.
That's still stupid.
It's stupid because a holocron should function as that, because a holocron's an information data like thing. So why would you need a separate
thing? You made a whole new thing that the other thing can already do the thing.
And just made it green. and made it green. Yeah.
And that's not even a Sith color. That's a fucking Jedi color.
That was a MacGuffin, is all that was.
But see, here's the caveat about this. If because Balon was talking about it on the spaceship while they were still in hyperdrive, and he was saying, or hyperspace, and he was saying to his apprentice, like, hey, there's something going on here, a greater picture that even I don't understand. Remember when they get there, he says he senses something. There's something
something calling to him.
Something talking to him, and he's like, can't you hear it? And she's like, no, like I don't, whatever. She may not be that far along in the Force, but like it's the fact that like the Night Sisters have holocron-esque ancient artifacts out there.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm loving this dichotomy. You got the Sith, you got the Jedi, you got the fucking Night Sisters, and all of them somehow have some interconnecting lore. Like, for instance, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I just want to make a note to remind me to come back to what you're saying. Just sorry, my bad. Because I have an idea that like correlates to this, but continue. Sorry.
Oh no, dude, you go ahead. Like that was it. I was just saying that like it's cool that we're now getting more information about the Night Sisters. And
so,
like, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was. Thrawn. There's a scene where you see behind him that mural has a bunch of different hieroglyphs, and someone in our other group chat pointed out that it looked like the Zepho language from the ancient Zepho beings in Jedi Fallen Order. And in that game, when you go to Dathomir, inside the tomb on Dathomir is a bunch of corpses of the Zepho. So there's like that connection in the lore already. And I noticed that, like you said, Thrawn has all the Zepho symbols behind him on that planet. So I feel like we might get the Zepho in live action, like a reference to them in that ancient race. I'm hoping.
There's definitely more Clone Wars lore coming in this show. If not in this season, definitely season 2. He's putting Clone Wars flashbacks in the show for a reason, because the lore is about to dive deeper than we have ever seen on live action Star Wars. I mean, at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going into stuff that we saw in Clone Wars that most people just don't know about.
Yeah.
And on that topic, dude, like, as they're expanding the canon, right? It's almost like the inside of Dave Filoni, and making this a seamless pattern. He's weaving it in on every show. He's throwing in these little elements from Legends continuity, from the Clone Wars. Even in this show, Rebels, they're pulling a lot of shit from Rebels. Like, I'm liking the way that this is turning into a big web. That is not just a one-dimensional. It's not just like a checkers move. He's playing fucking Star Wars chess with us. You know what I'm saying? And it's opening up all these new realms for new theories, new bad guys, new potential threats to the galaxy, and like, it is beautiful. Like, it is so, like, when I watched this last episode, my brain like exploded from overstimulation. You know what I'm saying? It was, I think really did.
That's how I was in, like, I think episode 4 or something, where I couldn't stop crying because it was just, I couldn't believe how fucking good it was, like how Star Wars it was,
it's oh my god, like, it's so hard to express, because this is something that they've never done before. Like, you only got this kind of storytelling in the animated series. The fact that they're bringing this into live action, the fact that, like, all of the Star Wars fans are going nuts every fucking time they pull something from Clone Wars, from Legends, all that stuff, and they're putting it into, like, it's almost like, holy fucking shit, we're building up to an Avengers type event. All these events are going to come together and then paint a bigger picture, and they'll be like, no, this is the real threat. It's not. Thrawn was just he was just the first wave of the set. You know what I'm saying? There's more coming along after that. And the fact that they're slowly teasing this, they're slowly leaving little Easter eggs in these episodes, that's what blew my mind. That's why this last episode 6 was like a goddamn mental orgasm, bro. Like, first of all, god damn it, when Thrawn shows up and they got that gold plating on the fucking Star Destroyer, my fucking dick got hard. I was like, these dudes are doing the do, bro. And
that's Thrawn, like, through and through, though. He is very artistic, and slapping gold on everything is just like, of course everybody's not just going to be in white, and it's not going to be a gray ship. There's going to be some flashiness going on because he's an
on that.
type.
When you mentioned Gray, Balon actually almost goes that route when he goes, he's talking to his apprentice, and she's like, they were a Jedi, and he goes, no, they're a different type of Jedi. Like
I have a note about that.
Go ahead, boss.
He's talking about Ezra when he says that, and she asks him, she's like, so do you know the one that we're after? And he's like, no, he's far too young. And he says he comes from a breed of Boken Jedi trained in the wild after the temple fell. So he references Ezra as a Boken Jedi, Bokken.
Oh, he didn't say broken? I thought he said broken.
No.
I thought he said broken.
I rewound it, put the subtitles on, and watched it again so I could take this note. And
so is that a term for like wild trained Jedi? Like not temple trained?
I don't know, but let's Google it.
Because that's to me, that's what it comes off as.
Now, Danny, Mando, check this shit out. What if the Bendu show up as well? Because
I want to be able to handle that. Because all these little details in the background, they're like literally like Easter eggs to so many like possibilities of like who's gonna be like I said, it could be the Bendu, you could have the Zepho, you could have the Grist, the Chit. Like it's like, oh shit, what are we gonna see? We don't even know. Or
what's his name from the video game? Is it not Nihilus? Is it Nihilus? Darth Nihilus?
It's on which game though?
I'm talking about the Emperor, where he is one of his. I can't remember his name, but I remember the cinematic. Go ahead.
I was going to say there's Darth Nihilus who would like eat whole fucking planets. He had the mask with the skull face.
So no, I'm talking about the Hidden Empire, where he took everybody off.
God, the guy in the Revan novel that they go to fuck his temple and shit. I can't think of his name right now, but I know who you're talking about because he is the most conniving, a very conniving motherfucker. I remember that.
Yeah, so I'm even thinking he could show up. Like there's that's what I was trying to say earlier. It's like the veil is opening up.
I get it. He's calling them Boken Jedi. All right, you see the screen?
Yeah.
Not really.
So a Boken is basically a fake katana made out of wood.
Yeah, it's a training sword, yeah.
So he's basically showing Ezra disrespect and saying he's like a fake Jedi.
That is harsh.
Hey, this fake Jedi bodied an entire Starfleet. So what you gonna say about that, bitch?
What a word reference, what a word drop though, for us to have to go in and Google something like that to figure out, and then to go and Google it and not actually figure out what the word means in the show. I had to actually sit there and think about it and say, oh, this is a fake sword, a practice sword made out of wood. He's literally disrespecting Ezra.
Or you know what they say, the greatest form of flattery is imitation. So maybe he's saying that these are replica Jedis. They're not, it's like getting a Hollywood gun right from a movie, a set. It's just a fucking, it's just pretty much a cap gun. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Right? It's a real thing. It's not an exact. It's an exact copy, but it doesn't have all the functions. Right. So maybe he's calling them this type of Jedi because none of them. Because think about, even Kanan didn't complete his training before his master died.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So these are incomplete Jedi.
Right.
So Luke's a Boken Jedi.
Yeah, he would consider Luke the same thing. We passed over a couple things I want to go back to before we keep going because there's a lot more lore in the second half of the episode, obviously. But the Dathomiri harnessed and rode Purgil. Like they literally.
Oh, yeah, that's some Dune shit right there.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, bro. That reminds me of the Reverend Mothers, the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mothers from Dune. Yeah.
Oh yeah, which I'm pretty sure the Night Sisters are heavily influenced by them. Like, if we're being honest.
And so droids flying ships and flying shuttles instead of having like a human there. Like, I'm all for giving people jobs and giving actors jobs and stuff, but this is the Star Wars universe. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we haven't seen a lot of like droids taking shuttles down to planets and droids flying shuttles, and that would be something that would be a huge part of life in a galaxy like that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like they've utilized any of that in any shows. And it's like almost every show, every episode of Ahsoka, we see a droid flying a ship. You know, especially in the last episode when they flew down, the droid was flying that sick shuttle that actually, I think, is a reference to Dune as well.
Yeah, David Lynch's version of the ornithopter looked a lot like that. Fuck, I was about to say something really stupid, and I forgot because you said something about Dune, so I got all serious.
So, Shin is not from the temple. People were like trying to argue and say, "Oh, she's from the temple," but I mean, she's
too young.
She's not
too
old
young.
enough.
Yeah.
They confirmed it in the episode. They talked a lot about Balon's lore, about how he watched the temple burn, and what he said was extremely. This is how deep this character is, and this is Filoni at his best, I believe, in my opinion. And he says, "What I seek is the beginning, so that I may bring the cycle to an end." And
Balon hates remakes.
And then he follows it up and he says, "If the old stories are true." So basically, he's saying that the cycle of Jedi and Sith and the Order and everything, it always is just over and over again. It rises, it falls, it rises, it falls, and he thinks that
ebb and flow.
He has a better way to do things. And he thinks that he is on the path to make that happen.
So, and you know what I got from that when he said that line? I got have you guys heard of the book series called The Wheel of Time?
Yeah.
Right. So that whole book series is about how basically the principles of Ragnarok. How it's a continuous loop and it keeps happening over and over again until somebody can completely break the cycle by killing the Midgard serpent. You know what I'm saying? Like, Thor didn't actually kill the Midgard serpent. He just threw it off in the outer space, right? And he died in the process. So what I'm thinking is here, what they're getting at here is that maybe Balon's talking about the Old Republic because they're bringing the Old Republic to live action. You know what I'm saying? So I believe he's referring to the because you think about it, at the time of the Old Republic, you had the Jedi and you had the Sith, both of which had armies and multiple disciples. You know, like when you play the what is it? Not the Old when you play the Old Republic video game, like when you talk to a master of the Sith, he's got 3 or 4 baby apprentices under him, right? And with that, there was so much backstabbing and betrayal that the Sith never were able to actually get to the level until Bane put the rule of 2 into effect. Okay, that way the cycle of greed and self-destruction wouldn't be so prevalent, because at that point, every apprentice has got to wonder, what knowledge did my master not share with me? And they got to make sure they get as much as possible, and with that, gain a stronger tie to the Force, so that way they can overpower their master. You know what I'm saying? And so what I think he's referring to is the fact that it's going to lead back. And where I think that starts with Grogu, because Grogu is the other person who is going to be 1,000 years old, essentially, because Yoda gave up. His heart was broken, and he's like, I can't believe I allowed this to happen. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna, Qui-Gon taught me how to become one with the Force. I'm just gonna become one with the Force. So I think that they're talking about that cycle of how there's 2 empires, opposing forces, one of the Sith, one of the Jedi, and how that it's not going to be just small groups anymore.
Yeah,
Like
he also tells Shin, he tells Shin that she's not a Jedi, that he raised her to be
something more.
Yeah, and so either they're ushering in the gray Jedi, you know what I mean? Because you got to think when the gray Jedi use both sides of the Force, it's almost like what's Mace Windu's lightsaber technique, where you have to become a master of yourself to be able to harness certain aspects of the dark side to make sure when because Mace had Shatterpoint, the ability to sense a weakness in any object, right? So
yeah,
when you go back to the Clone Wars movies, there's one episode where Mace takes out an entire droid army with just his hands because he knew exactly how to break these machines down. And so like it's a cycle, man. It's just like Ragnarok. What's going to happen is Rise of Skywalker was the end of one chapter, and now it's going to come all the way back around to that point to where there's hundreds of tens of thousands of Jedi across the universe, and they're all fulfilling their purpose. And then at that same time, there's going to be many offshoots of the Sith. And what I also think now, what they just threw into the picture is a possibility of the Night Sisters being there. Because if you look at it now, right, there's 3 goddamn Mother Talzins. There's 3 super powerful mystic, sorceresses out there. You know what I'm saying? They're so strong that they are literally able to communicate across galaxies, from one galaxy to another. We don't know what the space is in between these galaxies. All we know is it took 6 fucking hyperdrive engines to get there in a timely manner. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that's all they presented to us. So like I said, the possibilities that the little seeds that Filoni is putting in now, oh my God, bro! Like I said, Avengers level event, in-game event, is coming up.
I think a lot of people were worried about Thrawn and his appearance because of Lars's age. I think he's fucking imposing. I think he looks amazing.
He's a thick daddy Thrawn.
Mm-hmm. His eyes are done great. I was worried about that. I was worried that Disney was like, oh, he looks too demonic, we're gonna tone him down a little bit. They didn't, and he looks fucking amazing. Lars is killing it acting as Thrawn. I mean,
yeah, there was like no like slip to me between like how he presents himself in animation versus it was like, yeah.
From the second he walked up into fucking frame and you saw his face when he started fucking talking, that motherfucker did not miss a single fucking beat the entire time he was on fucking screen. And I'm willing to put money down that I do not fucking have, and I would bet that he didn't have to do more than 1 or 2 takes for each of those fucking scenes either.
His presentation, his stature, because we're Thrawn is known as this chess master. The amount, like you can feel, like as he's walking through the stormtroopers, this aura of confidence, this aura of like 3-dimensional chess. Like Thrawn is already planned the next, like it seems like in his head, the way he's presenting and he's talking to the Night Sisters, he's already got the next 5, 6, 7 moves.
Oh yeah, he's got so much shit up his sleeve.
Yeah, when they return to the galaxy, that it's going to be a kick in the nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to take everybody off their feet, and like oh my God, it's just the only difference between him, his character here in live action, and the animated series. We were talking about this early, Danny, is the fact that he when he pronounced words in the animated series, he would say like, "Oh, the Jedi, oh yeah," they were just longer, drawn out words. And he said, I was looking at it in the interview, he said that might not be practical to do that in television, so he shortened it up. But I think the shortness, the way they've toned it down just a little bit, actually makes him more of an imposing figure. You know what I'm saying?
It felt really organic, and like he felt like
Even when the Night Sister said, "Hey, they're a Jedi. Like she's a Jedi. We can sense the training in her." He was like,
Yeah.
His shoulders didn't slouch. His face didn't change. This motherfucker is a goddamn a robot, bro. He just says with this, yes.
So
with the little smirk, that little smirk, like, oh, there's a Jedi here. I've already planned this. I'm gonna fuck you up.
this right here, I fucking watched this part, this little 3-second fucking part, 2 more times than I want to admit the other day. But this is right after he talks to Balon Skull. And he literally he looks him up and down like that, and then walks away. And I was like, "Oh my fucking god, dude!"
He doesn't perceive him as a threat.
We can do like 3 seconds. Hold on. You saw that? You saw that shit,
smirk,
dude?
With the smirk,
bro.
Yeah.
I could not. That right there was fucking Thrawn, dude. Like, oh,
dude, while we're on it. When the Night Sisters say it reeks of Jedi, I feel like, yeah, they look at Sabine, but they're also sensing the 2 mercenaries, like, because they're that powerful. And I feel like, I don't know if it seemed like that to y'all, where like they were trying to imply that, like, yeah, they look at Sabine like, yeah, we brought one with us, and kind of like gloss over the fact that these 2 also, though. You know what I mean? I don't know if
it's kind
I was overthinking, but I kind of caught that vibe.
Thrawn definitely does not give 2 flying fucks about what happens to Balon and Shin. He literally he tells what's her name, Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah.
You know, well, it would be just fine if they got left behind. It would be all the same. You know, that's pretty much what he says.
Essentially what he's saying is hey, my plan is so thought out to the smallest detail that these mercenary Jedi, they're just a blip on the fucking map. They're a speck of sand on the beach. They're insignificant. They don't matter. And just like when you saw in that clip, it's a scan up and down, and then he walks away with a smirk, like he's like almost like he's condescendingly judging them and being like, you're not worth the lightsaber you carry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
so
love
what would you do? Kill my army of zombies?
Bro, so okay, that was another thing I want to talk about. Like the army, the troopers, most of them or all of them have red ribbons wrapped around them at some point.
Like the Night Witches.
It looks like Night
the
Sister magic. So are these reanimated corpses? Are these injured soldiers that's the only way they can operate is with the magic? Like,
yeah, because even Enoch's voice sounds insane. Like they all got severely injured or have died and come back to life. Yeah. To me, like I feel like
I don't know what the fuck he is, dude. Like, is that dude actually an actual trooper that survived, or is that somebody that Thrawn found? And they
I don't know.
Incorporated like trooper armor into his shit.
Bro,
afterwards,
on that, when we're talking about trooper armor, the design of the golden hints in the individual armor, it's fucking beautiful. The attention to detail, how the gold seamlessly fits in with the natural, the natural build of the armor. It looks. If you never watched another Star Wars episode, or until you watch that, or if you've never seen Star Wars before, it's so seamless that I believe it would make someone who's never watched Star Wars believe, oh, this is the way they're supposed to look. Like that goddamn face on his mask.
Thrawn's shirt, his coat has patches, like from damages on it. Like it seems like when the Purrgil sent everything off into hyperspace, everybody on the ship either died or was traumatically severely injured.
So let's go back to that, right? In Star Wars Rebels, remember the Purrgil literally broke the Chimera into pieces, right? There was pieces of the whole missing. So what I believe is, as they transported to this planet and through the galaxy, all the little bodies of the stormtroopers probably rained down on the planet as they crashed in. So maybe, especially seeing those white kind of floaty coffin looking things, maybe those are the ones that die, and the ones that he has are ones that are so fucked up, but yet he didn't have the technology. Like their respiratory systems have collapsed, right? Like Darth Vader or Darth Magus, right? And they're like they had to use Night Sister magic to heal these fucked up troopers, and then now with the combination, they're twice as powerful. Like I believe this clone troopers, if they were to meet Moff Gideon's group, they would wax them. Like
there's something going on with them for sure.
Like these aren't average stormtroopers. Like if you notice, like usually when they're stormtroopers, right? It's almost even that chant they were kind of mumbling when
Thrawn came out.
They were mumbling, but even that had this kind of distortion to it that didn't seem human. You know what I'm saying? So I think the entire group of troopers we saw are all half dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it checks out too with like Rebels. You have the Night Sister zombies on Dathomir when they go to get the Darksaber, and in Jedi Fallen Order, the Night Sister Marin that you meet on Dathomir, she literally has the power to raise her Night Sister from the dead to fight you, and they're all possessed with green glowing eyes. Shit's fun. But yeah, I feel like it would definitely make the most sense for them to be an army of the undead, because that would be the coolest shit they've done in a long time.
And then you gotta remember this one scene when Morgan Elsbeth says to Thrawn, like, "Oh, maybe we should reinforce Balon, give him some troopers." And he's like, "Oh, the losses that we've taken are vast. These are
he said we've suffered losses in this exile, so we can't afford to send any more." It's like, obviously some shit has gone down in the last 9 years.
What I believe it is that, like, not only did shit go down, not only are these zombie troopers, but like he doesn't want to reveal his hand. Even the Morgan S, he doesn't even tell her the plan. He's just like, "Oh, things are already accounted for. We're ready to go." Like if you hear when he talks to her when they're standing in the star map, it's almost like he knows. He knows exactly what he's got to do. He knows exactly how to rally all the smaller sections of the Empire and how to put them back together. Like what I'm really curious to see is what if they blend like the Mandalorian trooper with the Dark Sister magic, and now you have this kind of super soldier. You know what I'm saying? And like
the ultimate dark troopers.
That would be a little much. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ.
It's like, goddamn, they got Mandalorian armor, Jedi powers, and half dead.
We saw what in the Clone Wars. We saw what one like Holy Mother, like if you want to use the Dune reference, one Reverend Mother and her disciples could do. They held so much power that Sidious perceived them as a threat. There's now 3 bitches on that level. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 of these bitches. And it all seems like they pledged allegiance to Thrawn. So it's like if they have this ability to talk across galaxies, if they have this ability to see things before it happens, or to sense it, like they knew Ahsoka's coming. They know Ahsoka's on the way.
They're extremely powerful for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of Granddaddy Palps, Thrawn says to Sabine, your desire to be reunited with your long lost friend. You desire to be reunited with your long lost friend. How that singular focus will reshape our galaxy. So I think, unfortunately, that's a reference to the sequels. Because Thrawn is probably most likely going to be the person who brings Palpatine.
Somehow.
Yeah, he somehow returns.
Somehow Thrawn returned.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we didn't have to deal with that.
I think that was actually a sequel connection line right there when he says you desire to be reunited with your long lost friend, how that singular focus will reshape our galaxy. I think that's a play on how he's inevitably going to bring Palpatine back.
And then also, like, we all got to think about this. The only reason why Thrawn is there is to protect his people, right?
Yeah.
That's the only reason he doesn't give a flying fuck about anything, because he was like, hey, if I make this deal and I'm so intelligent, like if we make this deal and I help you gain a foothold on all of the known galaxy, will you leave my people alone? Now, think about this. This motherfucker is such a man of his word. Even though Sidious is dead, he's already planning to bring him back. You know what I'm saying? Like the foreshadowing that, in almost every line that he gives in this episode it gives me anxiety, because I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat, spazzing out, being like, what is it? What is it? Give it to me now. It's like, I need my fix. Hook me up, bro. And so
I wonder. Oh shit, my bad. I was like, I wonder if they'll speak Sabisky in the show. Like if we'll hear any new alien languages. Sorry, I kind of was in pothead land. I just kind of like, we all talking about Thrawn. I was like, I forget that he speaks a whole ass other language that we never hear.
Yeah.
Because his real name is Thrawn Nuradu, which no one ever calls him that. So he just shortened it to Thrawn.
It would be cool to actually hear that in the show, though. If somebody actually that. Like they were momming him, like pointing their finger at him, saying his full name. That would be some shit. Nobody would ever do that, but still, it'd be funny.
I got another thing I picked up. Like, Sabine's lightsaber skills have gotten better. When she fights those nomads, those raiders, she fucks them up, dude. I mean, that there was like 8 against 1, and she came out on top. But
that also proves a theory that they were so unready to see a lightsaber. Kitty. They were so unready to defend against a lightsaber that Ezra definitely does not have one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the second that they saw that on her belt, they would have seen that and fucking ran. Because they would have just thought, oh, she's a fucking Jedi. She can do what Ezra can do. You know what I'm saying? We know these people can literally chop people in half and chop people's limbs off at will with their weapons. So I figured that just goes to prove that Ezra has not had a lightsaber this whole time. And the fact that we're jumping to Ezra now. Fuck it. We're jumping to fucking Ezra. Fuck it.
Let's do it.
He had fucking chainmail armor under his clothes. And I didn't catch it the first time I watched it because I was so fucking excited about seeing that character on screen. But the second time I watched it, he's got chainmail. So Enoch, his mask is literally like an ode to the Roman gladiator masks that they.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
So and now Ezra has armor on under his shit. It's this region, this galaxy, this planet is very medieval-esque. You know what I'm saying?
It's like high fantasy. Yeah, I really liked it. Even those little show guys were like little hobbits.
Mm-hmm. And I actually did not. I know people love to bitch about little creatures in Star Wars and stuff, but I
fucking love it.
They were awesome. They were my 3-year-old son. We're watching an episode earlier today, and he was like, "Oh, look, Daddy, so cute, so cute." Yeah. And I'm like,
those little clothes, man. The little clothes outfits.
And their language is funny too. Like, it's not annoying whatsoever. It's like actually. And then when Ezra spoke it sounded so fluent and legit. Like he's actually been with those people or those things for 9 years straight. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no hesitation.
Killed it.
Dude, oh my fucking god! Like, I know people were saying this. It needs to be this actor. It needs to be this actor, and all that shit. But this guy, you can tell he watched every single episode of Rebels. He did his research on he did his character research. He talked and studied with Filoni, and got it from the master, the creator himself. And I cannot believe, like, when the dude sat there and talked, I could close my eyes. It's not even the same voice actor. That's what's crazy.
That sounds just like him.
It's not even the same dude that did the fucking voice in the cartoon. And I can sit there and I can close my eyes and listen, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, it's Ezra fucking Bridger. And it's fucking amazing to me how good they nailed the casting on this fucking character, because it's something that you worry about. I mean, I don't think there's any character for any okay, maybe Zeb is an exception because his CGI was so fucking good, that one scene that we got him in. Maybe he's an exception, but there's not a character that has come from animation to live action that looks flawless. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Katie Sackhoff's her being
she's probably the closest until Ezra.
I would agree.
I'd say her, Ezra, and Thrawn. Well, Thrawn doesn't really look like his cartoon, but he acts just.
The voice, the acting. Yeah, I mean, this.
I don't really got much complaints.
No, I don't either. This show is changing the fucking game. Hearing Ezra talk, seeing the scars on his face that the Grand Inquisitor caused in season 2 of Rebels. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The dude, and I was talking to Danny about this the other day. I mean, if he does not get casted in a role as Jesus here soon, I'm not even religious, but I will go watch the shit out of that Jesus movie if he gets casted as that role, because holy shit, dude. That, I mean, and some people are complaining about the contacts being a little much because he has blue eyes in Rebels, but
it makes him look more like Jesus.
Right. I think it makes him stand out, and I like the way it looks. I think they did good with the contacts. He's been on that planet for 9 years straight. He's probably not going to be clean shaven, so I mean, everything just kind of makes sense to me.
So that first appearance, what really locked it in for me was the way he was leaning against that shelter. It's what Ezra does in the Clone War, or not Clone Wars, and Rebels all the time. You come into a room, he's got that, like, I'm canted against the wall, arms across, and and even the way he strutted up to her, it reminded me of Rebels. Like, I mean,
dude, when he asked her a question and she didn't want to answer.
Oh, how'd you get here?
yeah, and she hesitated, and then he goes, Sabine. When he said her name like that, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like, did they just? Did they?
It's so organic.
I feel like they audio clipped something out of Rebels, and we're just like, "All right, we're gonna audio clip the voice actor from Rebels," and they just put him saying Sabine over Amon Esfandi's actual acting. And it's like it was so fucking spot on that it was crazy. Because I mean, how many times did we hear Ezra Sabine? Like, all the fucking time throughout Rebels, you know what I'm saying? And to hear that, and to hear it pulled off so fucking well, the right people, the right directors, the right writers are on this show. It just proves the wrong direction that some of these shows have taken, with like Kenobi being written by a guy that literally came out and said publicly before the fucking show released that he's not a fan of Star Wars. Then why the fuck are you writing for the show?
Because he was kind of the cheapest.
He was the
fucking CEOs, man.
Hey, and know what? That script was so weak, the show almost tanked completely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The only saving grace of that show was Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor like holding it. Like,
so the only thing, like when you watch these new shows, you could tell which episodes are directed by a Star Wars fan, which scenes are written by a Star Wars fan. You can, I mean, like, think about the last episode wasn't even directed by Filoni, and it was fire. The lady who directed this episode, I think she did her due diligence. She wanted to appease the fans, and that's one thing that they don't understand. This fan base has been going on for literally, 4 generations.
You can't slack with this shit.
You can't.
This is not a story that you can slack with in any way whatsoever. It's 40 fucking years old or more. You know what I'm saying? Almost 50 fucking years old. You cannot slouch on this. You cannot slack on this. You cannot budget this shit. You have to go all out in every fucking thing you do. And I'm sorry, but Reva in the fucking Kenobi show is not that. You know what I'm saying?
She's the definition of like filler, sadly. And like, they could have done so much more with that character.
Show didn't need any filler. It's fucking Kenobi. Yeah. It should have been all Kenobi, all Hayden, the whole time.
You know what I really appreciated? No stupid fucking cameos. I don't want to see Lizzo in the goddamn Star Wars universe, man. Honestly, I almost stopped watching Mandalorian after that episode, and I was like, "Oh, fuck.
you would have
we got Jack Black and fucking Lizzo. Like, come on, man. This is so cliche. Like, oh, look at us. We're an extravagant culture of people."
And I don't have anything wrong with that. I mean, I do have something wrong with it because the what I have wrong with it is it takes me so far out of the universe that episode I'll never be able to watch that episode and think I'm in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, no, it feels like a holiday special. It feels like the holiday special, exactly like the holiday special did, where you have just like Jefferson Airplanes is in the Star Wars for some reason. Like, you know,
what the fuck?
Dude, have you not like sat down and tried to watch the whole holiday special that George Lucas tried to erase?
I've only watched parts of it. He tried to erase it.
Dude, he tried to like get every copy of that shit like destroyed. If he could, like, dude, it's so. Dude, there's literally 20 minutes in the beginning of just Wookiees speaking to each other with no translation, just for 20 minutes. You're just like, all right. And then there's a little Jefferson Airplane music video, and like a weird cooking show where the Wookiee's watching a lady doing a cooking show. Dude, it's like a fever dream. It's worth watching once. It's on YouTube.
It's worth watching once.
It's worth watching for the.
Kind of like Andor. It's worth watching once.
Yes.
The second half I'll watch twice. When Andy Serkis.
Okay, so with the Ezra scene coming up, right? And like, and then there's the Ezra scene, and then there's that last scene with Thrawn again. And you know, the Ezra scene, what I think that did was when I think it restored a little faith for us hardcore fans.
It did, but it's also just a goddamn tease for me, dude, because I want to see this motherfucker fight. What have you learned? He was fucking shit up when we last saw him in Rebels, dude. This dude was walking at-ats and making fucking people kill themselves and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Granted, that was the beginning of season 3. That was quite a while ago, but that dude was at that fucking level at 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck has he learned on this new planet surrounded by new magic, new armor, different ways to defend yourself, different ways to, what connection has he made with the Force?
And what did he do to make these turtle people worship him as their Lord and Savior?
As their...
Hey, he died on the cross.
Oh my God,
he died and came back.
It's pretty fucking obvious that Thrawn has had a much better life than Ezra Bridger has had since exile.
Mm-hmm.
Thrawn's still been living it up as Grand Admiral, and Ezra's out fucking moving huts every fucking few days and shit.
And it does look like Moses too, though. So he might go like when they kidnap all the little shell people, he's gonna show up and be like, "Thrawn, let my people go."
And then all of a sudden he stomps his foot, and like the same thing that happened at Minas Tirith happens there, and he's just like, "You shall not pass. I'm a servant of the secret fire."
Do you think that do you think they're all going to get back to the regular galaxy, or do you?
I foresee a major loss, but I think someone significant is going to die, and I mean, because the only thing that's kind of cheesy about Star Wars that was corrected only in one show was Rogue One. Rogue One showed the brutality and how the average person in the galaxy was living. You know what I'm saying? Under
like Andor.
The Empire. You know? I mean, no, but
I saw that coming from a mile away in my head. I was like, I was gonna fucking say it. I know you didn't say it.
You set me up for it with your joke.
I mean, yes, that is true. That is true. I mean, like I said, I've only watched up till episode 3. I couldn't make it through anything else.
Just like you said, just start on 4 and then keep going.
Yeah, I restarted it, and I'm starting from 4 this time when I watched it. Actually, so honestly, 4 is when it starts to is when because the first 3 episodes kind of feel like you're on this random planet where it's more rogue class living, so there's not a lot of familiar Star Wars stuff. But the 4th episode, when he finally starts going off, so when you get to Coruscant, you get the ISB security agents, and that's when the show to me starts getting real good. When you're getting the inner workings of the fucking ISB. To me, that part of the show reminds me of the Korriban Sith Academy, where all these Imperial officers all stabbing each other in the back for power. I'm like, oh, the Sith have not changed; they just got new uniforms.
They just got new uniforms. That's funny.
But but the one thing I do gotta say, Ray Stevenson, God, I miss you, man. I'm like, man, dude, we're gonna be missing a pivotal character, right? And so what I think they're gonna end up doing is killing off Balon, and because who's gonna play him like Ray Stevenson? Ray Stevenson has this kind of allure and mystique behind the character, even the way he talks as Balon. You can always tell he's holding something back. Even when he fought Ahsoka, in that first scene where they're going toe to toe, you kind of feel like he's not giving it his all. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he still has this emotional attachment to the light side of the Force, but he understands the principles and the power, the allure of the dark side.
He also has a line. He also has a line that says, "I miss the idea of the Jedi Order."
Yeah, I love that part.
He knows the cycle doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? He likes the idea of it, but he knows it's a flawed system, and he knows it has to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's such a dynamic fucking character that we were not ready for. Nobody predicted. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had all these predictions and these theories about who he was. I had a stupid ass.
Yeah, everyone thought it was a fake name at first.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And what's crazy is you remember when Marvel was releasing trailers and they were putting fake shit in their trailers for the for Infinity War. They had the Hulk running in Infinity War, and then we never got the Hulk in Infinity War. They actually had a lawsuit against them for doing that.
For false advertising?
Yes. So I don't know if it's called false advertising, but it's actually now because of that lawsuit from Infinity War when they lied about the Hulk in that trailer. It's now illegal for movie productions to put false scenes in a trailer. You know, if you put something in a trailer, it has to be something that's actually in the movie. Otherwise, yeah, it's illegal to put something in a trailer that's not in the movie.
But dude, I completely enjoyed that. when a movie such as Infinity War comes out, something so epic, something we waited a decade for them to try to mislead us, not give us, because I mean, honestly, if you read the comic books, you knew it was coming anyway. But for them to be like, oh, the Hulk's gonna go get his revenge and make his appearance back, that motherfucker was so afraid he never came back. Like after Thanos fucking clapped that ass, he was like, yo, Bruce, you're all alone. And and it showed that even a brute of a character can feel embarrassed, can have anxiety, because the Hulk. I mean, remember, even when he's in the Hulk Buster armor, he talks to him and he's like, "Hey, like get your ass out here," and he's like, "No," you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't
we all did it at the same
like
time.
That again.
We all know at the same time.
That's great.
And then so like, but I like that. I like the fact that they're keeping me guessing. I like the fact that they're even filming things to throw us off.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the main reason I knew that Balon was actually going to be his character name. I knew it wasn't a lie, because that is an actual law now, that they're not allowed to do that stuff. So, I mean, the theory about it, them using a fake name. I pretty much knew that wasn't going to happen, because I mean Disney is not willing to lose any kind of money over that anymore.
Yeah, they're in this business to make their money.
Right.
Well,
they're going to be fucking doing that now with this fucking Ahsoka show. Because
so on that topic of them misleading us and giving I feel as if this is like a new, Ahsoka is like a new pivot point for the Star Wars universe. I don't think there's been anything. I mean, there's little bits of it in Mandalorian. You get a little, you get a little feel of things in Obi-Wan Kenobi, but this has actually felt like something. It feels like a passion of like a love project. Like Dave Filoni's literally saying, like, "Hey guys, understand that I love this so much. I'm willing to do a little bit of fan service. I'm willing to pull things out of Legends into canon. I'm willing to put the money down per episode, so when all this in-game event comes together, it's not gonna flop." You know what I'm saying? Like that's what people need to understand. It's like in the DCEU is the perfect example of this.
Don't make my feelings hurt right now.
If you do not make a storyline that fits together seamlessly, and you just throw a bunch of random plots against a Velcro wall hoping something will stick, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like the fans
don't get a fucking Ninja Turtles Doomsday Lord of the Rings troll. Fuck. Mm-hmm. Sorry. God, they literally tried to make 5 comic books into one movie, dude. That's so stupid.
Well, I mean, like, it's like another thing that they left out, but they I mean, like, even the comic books of Star Wars are starting to be more nitty gritty. They're starting to be darker. They're starting to reveal certain aspects of the Legends continuity and slowly filtering that into canon.
Seeing this shit on Ahsoka and the darkness that they're going to, it's like, what the fuck was Boba Fett? What the fuck was the book of Boba Fett? You know what I'm saying? Like
a tax write-off? I don't know.
Yeah, like, dude.
It was made for tax purposes.
That dude was supposed to be a killer.
So like Boba Fett was terrible. All right, we'll just put it that way. There's like
likable. It's like Kenobi. There's likable parts to it.
The Mandalorian season 2.5 part of it was good.
I mean, you know, but it was terrible. And like the thing about it is, like, if you're in this tyrannical kind of galaxy where you've always got this menacing group of people floating over you, trying to subjugate you, like I said, that's why I really appreciated Rogue One. Jyn Erso's story showed us that like even as a kid, her dad like escaped the Empire, but he was so smart and such a brilliant scientist that they were like, no, we're gonna subjugate your family. We'll kill anybody, and like you just said, the darkness, the like I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden Star Wars puts out a fucking rated R movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Marvel's pulled in Deadpool. Disney pulled that in. That's now as we can see it, it's a separate timeline, but that's still a part of
be extremely Sith related.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the reason it's rated R is mostly for gore because they're chopping people up.
And horror.
But they're cauterizing the wound. It's not like there's any blood. When you chop somebody in half with a lightsaber, you cauterize their body, and and they just die.
Except for that one time.
What if though? If they start using unstable blades like Kylo Ren, and like with an unstable blade, it's not exactly cauterized, and there's actual blood. That would be kind of cool.
How come there's blood in A New Hope? Remember when Obi-Wan cuts that dude's arm off in the cantina? There's blood. It's the only time you ever see that happen.
Is there really? I don't remember.
Yeah. When he cuts that dude's arm off in the very first Star Wars movie, there's blood. You should go back. I feel like everyone just ignores it. But yeah, there's totally blood when he cuts off that
That's my problem with the original trilogy is they're just like they stray off from canon so much. It's
that was the funniest thing I've heard in a long
time. You mean the OG canon?
Yeah. It took y'all a second on that one. They don't stick with canon, Fucking George, God damn it, George, not sticking with canon on it.
So
George is like, listen, I didn't know what I was doing
yet. So that last scene, okay, where Grand Admiral Thrawn's like, hey, like, we could leave Balon here. We can do all this stuff. We can abandon Ahsoka, or not Ahsoka, Sabine and Ezra here, and they wouldn't be a threat. I felt like you kind of got a little in the beginning part of the episode when they finally come out of hyperspace, and you see them going just above that ring around the planet, and it's all Purgle bones.
Dude, it was so dope that it's a graveyard of Purgle. Like it looks like
the Lion King,
like a regular ring around Saturn. You know what I'm saying? But it's a fucking graveyard of dead space whales.
Hey, but
isn't that from the Lion King,
bro? So
King,
they said that the Night Sisters tamed and rode the Purgle. So you got to think like so. Regardless, the Purgle can go anywhere in space, but they're like salmon. They return back to where they were born to die. Mm-hmm. So, like, is that like the breeding grounds of the Purgle? It is. I mean, like, if you think about it, they're doing exactly what salmon do. They go live their life, go out in the ocean, do all this other bullshit. Then they're like, hey, wait, man, it's time to bust a nut, and then they're like, let's go back to where we came from. And so, like. It kind of makes me like wonder like what other animals or creatures are gonna appear because of the Night Sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like the
remember that giant thing in Solo?
The what?
Remember that thing in Solo? That giant like octopus thing, the vacuum breathing life form?
That was
shit like that.
I only watched that movie one time. I need to watch it again probably.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I do like it. It's just
I remember thinking it was okay, and then I just remember getting teased with Ray Park at the end as fucking Mark.
Yeah,
and then
they never did anything with it.
Never going anywhere.
I mean, okay, so the one I want to know, and I'm really curious about what secret conversation had the Night Sisters and Thrawn had. Because like if you look at they almost like subjugate themselves and are submissive to Thrawn. Like what do they see in the future that they know they're that loyal?
They know he's important because he walks up and he goes, great mothers I once again require the help of your dark magic. And they say something, I can't remember. I think they say, of course, it is inevitable or some. I don't think it's inevitable, but it is foreseen or some shit like that.
Yeah, I know what part you're talking about.
They know that he is of relevance and important to whatever the plan is going forward for the future of the galaxy.
They're like the Hecate in Greek mythology, where they like can see the threads of like fate and shit.
Oh, you
what I gather.
Yeah,
isn't their nickname the Hecate? Isn't that? I thought their name, like when you refer to all three, is the Hecate or some shit, but I could be wrong. Hecate, the Hecate.
Hey, I'm not an expert on Greek mythology. I like it, but dude, like, what? Like if they do a flashback, I would love for it to be like almost when Anakin saw Padme die, right? I want to see something like that and be like, oh, like, is it like Thrawn's like, silhouette hanging over this galaxy and him being like foreseen as the new ruler? And know what that would do? That would kind of bring in the heir to the empire, kind of, foreshadowing, and like what shows are gonna, because we know Mandalorian does, flows at the same time Ahsoka does, but what other shows are they gonna introduce to kind of, build this universe for this movie to come out?
Book of Boba is the same time frame also. I don't know.
But it's like Daniel said, like it got so off track that you don't even like. It makes it seem like Boba Fett's like in his own universe. That was almost like watching the Loki series where he's hopping from timeline to timeline. You don't know what exactly they're going to pull from Book of Boba Fett, besides the fact that Grogu can force control.
Rancor.
Yes.
And I guess Boba Fett being the daimyo of Tatooine could be important for the movie because he's like the ruler of Tatooine basically now.
Well, yeah,
with his position.
But in the very last episode, he's looking at Fennec Shand, and they're like walking down the street, and their conversation is literally like this: like, "Oh, well, that was cool, but do we really want to keep doing this?" And then they literally say to each other, "Well, what's our next adventure?" So that
shit, I brought
that literally happened at the ending scene of the show, and it's kind of like, well, what the fuck? Like, why?
I'm hoping that was that they were just being silly because, to me, if you leave it out to where Boba Fett is like mob boss of Tatooine, that's what he's doing. To me, that left it open for something to happen later. But if you're telling me literally. He was like, damn, being James Gandolfini or whatever the fuck his name was from Sopranos ain't working out for me. I'm going to do something else. I mean, that's kind of that makes me hate the show more than I realized.
That was one of the weirdest things I found about it, and it was a weird show. But that was one of the weirdest things I found about that fucking show.
Well, my headphones are about to die, so I'm probably going to have to call it. I'm starting to get the beeping in my ear.
I think we pretty much covered all of my notes anyways, so. I'm excited about next week. Holy shit, I don't know what to expect. Holy shit is all I can say, we'll see what happens, man. I mean, I want to try to record my reaction to it. So Micah, I know Danny likes to watch it on his TV and stuff, but Micah, if you're free and want to do a watch party, just let me know, man.
Hey, bro, man, I'm just happy. I got a bunch of nerds in a chat room talking about Star Wars, man. Like, because I can express my excitement to my wife just a small bit. She's a Star Wars fan. She watches the movies. She collects merchandise as well. But it's like with you guys, I can go full retard on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like you said in the beginning, when you heard that far in a galaxy far away. And it reminded me it reminded you guys of me bringing up that theory. That happens to me all the time. There's so many parts of the show where I'm like, I got to talk to the guys about this. I got to, dude, I'm just excited. Like these last two episodes, like I'm hoping their 50-something minute long episodes.
For sure.
Dude, Filoni, man, knock it out of the park. You've been doing a great job. I feel like if they do not put Filoni after this series in some type of leading producer kind of position, then they're fumbling the bag. That's all that's happening.
Hell yeah.
So I mean, if they talk about, we lost money with all these movies, we did all this and that, it's because you got off topic and you tried to add politics into shows where that's not needed. Buzz Lightyear, perfect example. I'm a big fan of Buzz Lightyear. They threw some left field shit in there, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I'm saying?
Let's get out of here and get back to it next week, boys.
All right, man.
I gotta get to bed and shit, anyways. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all next week.
All right.